Hello, Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the brofict one, AJ. This here is my co-host, Noah Engelbretson. And let me tell you something, Noah. Coming off of this weekend of college and professional football, I have one take and one take only for this weekend. And that is that all officials need to be fired and need to figure out a new fucking career. Because, listen, don't get me I'm going to be honest with all the degens up front. I took a bath this weekend on all of my picks. Okay. I did not do good at the book. Okay. Regardless of how I did at the book and everything, though, these referees need to be checked. I don't know what the fuck is going on in their head. I don't know what ego trip is going on in their head, but they need to keep the flags in their fucking pocket because a lot of this shit, this targeting we're seeing in the college football, this roughing the passer we're seeing in the NFL, pass interference, all this bullshit. It's so much that I don't even give a shit about my betting record anymore, Noah. I just want these motherfucking refs to be punished for the terrible job they've done at officiating the games. Because when I do bad at my job, I get fired. I get fined, okay? When these assholes do bad at their job, they just get booed. Okay, I'd rather get booed than fired any day of the fucking week. So unless these refs all of a sudden figure out how to call a fucking game, they all need to be fired. We need to get some new refs in. Get me the replacement refs, honest to God, because they're probably better than this bullshit right now. Anyway, how you doing, Noah?
Yeah, I hear you in the refs. I mean, not every game was like that, but this.
A lot,
oh my
though.
God,
it felt like it was a lot, though.
Well, I think the nightcap was just the Sunday night game, especially the fourth quarter of that Vikings-Cowboys game. Holy shit. It seemed like they were ready to throw their flag on every play before the play even started.
And that's what's terrible. Like, I won that game. I was heavy on the Cowboys going into the game, and then I live bet them going into it. I won the bet, and I'm still pissed off about how that game was officiated. Like, What are we doing? Calling, like, there was one really bad roughing the passer against Kirk Cousins where the guy literally, his head was down going into him, and he was mid throwing the ball when his head went down. And when he hit him, the ball was released, and they called that roughing the passer. Like, I'm so sorry. All of a sudden, are we playing flag football? I thought these were fucking men playing fucking tackle football, and we're calling this like ballerinas in a fucking ballerina match. Like, what the hell are we doing, dude?
Yeah, rough officiating. Some very, very soft calls, in my opinion.
SAWFT, soft.
But regardless of that, man, I mean, I don't know. I went 16-7.
Yeah, you did amazing this weekend.
So far, we got 2 picks left. We got the Giants to cover 11.5, and we got over 52. So could be 18-7 by the time this NFL week is over. I am hot right now, AJ. I am hot.
Noah, you are so hot right now, dude. It's disgusting.
I had was it a 10-team parlay? I think I texted you. Hit 8 out of 10 legs hit. So it did. Otherwise, I'd be very, very, very upset with Iowa. But I think Iowa and Kentucky money lines were the only 2 that didn't hit for me on that one. But
can we go ahead? Just give me one. I just want.
But I was close, and that was like plus 95,000 odds. I think on that.
Those were some great odds. I personally want to apologize to the degenerates out there, Noah, because in my TikTok, I said history dooms to repeat itself when it's not studied. And it seemed like the sportsbook didn't study the lines. Apparently, I just wasn't aware that Iowa can choke a fucking game away so fucking easy. Like,
dude, that
was the worst. That was the worst shirt pick I've ever had in my life. They just didn't have a fucking chance from the beginning. It was terrible.
Their offense was so bad. I mean, their first 4 possessions, what was it? 2 fumbles and 2 punts.
Oh, they played like shit. They played like 2 punts and 2 fumbles. I can live with that if you can come back with a decent offense. But then they couldn't even come back with decent offense. Like,
yeah, so they had less than 10 yards of offense, 2 punts and 2 fumbles in their first 4 possessions, and they were still only down 10-0 at that point.
Here am I. And you know me, Noah. I'm a very conservative bettor. I bet my units. You know what I mean? I'm very consistent on my units and everything. I doubled, I tripled. I quadrupled up on the units on this Iowa game. That's how confident I was in this. And then they go ahead and shit the bed. I mean, fuck me. But hey, that's my fault for picking a team twice on a shirt. That's on me. I won't do that ever again. That's why if you go on our TikTok, go ahead, look at my Monday night pick. I'm going to tell you it's a lock right now. TikTok at Degenerate takes 69. Noah, besides the fact that the shirt didn't hit, how else did you feel about college football? Because I honestly thought it was an electric day of college football. Minus
it was
Michigan.
A fun week.
It was really fun.
What do you mean minus Michigan? I was pulling hard for Sparty, and
I know you were pulling hard for Sparty. I was going the other way, so obviously.
Oh, that was such a fun game, though.
It was a fun game.
You know, regardless of who you were cheering for. Unless you're a Michigan fan.
Yeah.
But if you're not like a actual Michigan fan, I mean, that was a great game. One of the better games we've seen this year.
Oh, so much fun.
It was super fun to watch. And yeah, Big Ten's getting interesting now. You got Minnesota. Got a shameless plug them in there, top of the Big Ten West. AJ, I think the Big Ten West is Minnesota's to lose at this point.
Honestly, at this point, I really don't see Minnesota giving up any ground either, and that's the issue.
Plus, down now their top 4 running backs.
They're down their top 4?
Yeah, they have 2 true freshmen who are the only healthy running backs left on the roster. Both of them, Bucky Irving and Kai Thomas, both of them producing still. I mean, but to be fair, you could put anybody behind that offensive line, which Minnesota offensive line, if you guys don't know, they are heavier and more experienced than half of the offensive lines in the NFL. So, I mean, I think you could pretty much plug anybody with any reasonable amount of running back experience in there and they'd be fine.
Yeah, you could absolutely. But that's one thing I'm not really worried about with this Minnesota team is their run, because they're so good on their pass and everything. It's one of the, establishing the run would help in everything. Don't get me wrong in the long-term game plan. But
no, that's all they do is run the ball. That's why they're, and I will repeat it, I've said it before, they are one of the most boring teams in college football because all they do is run the ball. Like, they don't throw. That's going to be their problem is when they start playing better teams, they don't have a pass game really.
So do you think that's going to be an issue with Minnesota going into the rest of the season, or do you think they're going to be able to get through this and be able to be atop of the Big Ten West?
I don't know, and that's the question, because they haven't played a super tough schedule, but they are still riding a top 15, borderline top 10 defense in all of FBS, and they're running the ball for seems like 300 yards a game almost, like, and they do it with multiple guys too. So, if the defense can hold up. I mean, they've got Illinois next week, which should be another, kind of blowout similar to Northwestern. Then they play at Iowa, which will be tough. It always is, but Iowa's not looking like they're doing very good.
Fuck Iowa. Iowa is shit. They are dead to me. They're going to lose every game the rest of the season.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They looked terrible this weekend. They looked absolutely terrible.
If Iowa can't put up points against Purdue and Wisconsin, they're going to have a tougher time against Minnesota if they don't figure anything out.
They're not going to pick up any fucking points against Minnesota at this rate. Are you kidding me?
So they got that, and then they play at Indiana, which should be another win the way Indiana's been playing. And then they have Wisconsin at home to end the season. So we'll see. At the very least, if they win 3 out of the 4 of those, they'll have a chance at the Big Ten West, depending on how the other games go. And if they win all 4, then they're going to the Big Ten championship and probably the Rose Bowl, unless they somehow beat, Michigan State or Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. But I'm not going to get too ahead of myself there. We're just going to go week by week.
You don't have to get too ahead of yourself because you are a homer for Minnesota. But as a person who has no ties to Minnesota whatsoever, you face Michigan State. I'm not worried about that game whatsoever. That Michigan State team I'm not a fan of them whatsoever. I hate how they play football. And honestly, against Michigan, they should have lost that game. I think it was just a couple official calls and bad play calls by Michigan, and Harbaugh just not liking to win against Michigan State. That really led that game to go to a shithole.
So you're not going to give any credit to Kenneth Walker?
Literally none. Literally none.
A dude went for like 260 and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that as a starting quarterback. Like,
he's a running back, dumbass.
Regardless, fuck that. I'm still pissed off about that game because
he's in the Heisman. He's in the Heisman conversation.
Oh, absolutely, as he should be. And I wouldn't. And I mean, I'm probably going to throw some money on a ticket on him later this week. But I'm still not okay with how that Michigan State game ended, and I can be okay with that. I do want to,
because you lost your bet.
Yes, no, I'm very mad. I lost a lot of bets this weekend. Fuck.
Just admit that Sparty's legit. I mean, they're a good team.
Hey, they're legit. I will admit they are legit. They are a good team.
We'll see how they hold up against Ohio State, but other than that, I mean.
But honest to God, as an analyst, looking at them against against Minnesota, I think that's a good matchup, and I honestly like Minnesota in that.
Well, Minnesota's got they were top 4 coming into this week. I don't know. They gave up like 140 yards to Penn State. So I don't know if they're not Penn State, Northwestern. I don't know if they're going to be top 5 still, but they're definitely still probably top 10 in run defense, which helps when the strength of the Michigan State offense is their run game. But looking at Michigan State's schedule, they play at Purdue this next week, which by the way, they're only a 3-point favorite. And then they have Maryland at home. Then they play at Ohio State and end the season with Penn State at home.
Ooh, that's rough.
That's rough. I mean, they lose. They probably lose the Ohio State game at Ohio State, but then you're looking at, you're looking at an 11-1 Michigan State team.
And that's a damn good Michigan State team too to be going into the playoffs. And they won't go into the playoffs or anything like that.
Well, if they beat Ohio State, they will.
They won't. No, they won't. If they beat Ohio State, they won't. I promise you they won't. The college football selection committee is so.
So you're saying if they go 12-0 and win the Big Ten, they won't make the college football playoff?
Yeah, I promise you. They're not a big enough program. They're not a big enough program.
Oh God, dude, you
not a big enough program. I wish I was wrong. I wish I was wrong. Wait until you see the top 4 and Michigan State's not in there. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
They're ranked number 5 right now.
Yeah, they're not going to make it, bro. Not going to make it. Also, just a quick shout out to Cincinnati. One of my boys, he's got his buddy from high school, number 41, I believe, linebacker for Cincinnati, who leads them in tackles. He was projected to get drafted in the 4th round last year. He's going to do incredible this year. Shout out to him. I forgot his name, but number 41, you're a beast, dude, in Cincinnati. Noah, any other college games you really want to cover? Because a lot of them just kind of piss me off. Let's talk about Texas and Baylor really quick.
Well,
Texas is
do we really need to?
No, we don't. Yeah, I just want to say Texas is not back. Fuck them. And then what else do we got?
I don't think Baylor's all that great. I mean, they're ranked up in the teens now.
No, they're ranked up in the teens, but they're not a good football team. And you watch that game and you see that they're not a good football team.
Yeah, well, I just don't think Texas is where they need to be. But it's also, new coach in his first year. So, they got a promising young quarterback. They got Bijan Robinson back there. I think Texas will be better next year. I'm not going to jump the gun and say they're back, but hey, big ups to West Virginia. Big ups to West Virginia, by the way. Another Big 12 team.
Seriously.
Had a rough start to the season. I feel like every single one of these West Virginia games that they've played have been like super, super close, like down to the wire.
Well, yeah, and that's why my shirt lost on West Virginia one week, because it came down to the fucking wire. They couldn't cover.
Yeah.
But also,
anyways, other than that,
I want to say one thing, Noah. I want to apologize to you because you're right. You're right about one thing this college weekend, and that is Mr. Bo Nix at home is disgusting.
Don't bet against him at home.
Disgusting at home. He is disgusting at home, beating Mississippi 31-20. I mean, yeah, at home, Bo Nix is just a disgusting human being. He really is. He just carved up that defense. There was nothing I really hated about his play whatsoever, except from what my usual takes are. But Bo Nix, I mean, yeah,
he can't play on the road.
No, he can't play on the road.
I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing because, I mean, obviously, like certain players will play better at home than on the road. Like you have the home crowd behind you, but he's like two different people.
Oh, he really is.
He's completely Harvey Dent Two-Face. Like he's looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the nation at home. You put him on the road and he looks like he's barely a 3-star recruit.
Seriously, you put him on the road and you look like, why the fuck is this guy playing college football? And then you get him at home and he fucking blows up a team. It's unbelievable.
Well, you know, one of the biggest things about this game now, though, is depending on what happens next week, Auburn's got to go into Texas A&M, which will be a very good game. Number 12 versus number 13. A&M's looking like a 4.5-point favorite early.
A&M
if Auburn yeah.
Are they at A&M?
Yep. Of course, A&M knocking off Bama there already this year.
Yeah.
But if Auburn goes in there and steals a win, which I don't think they will because Bo Nix on the road.
Yep.
That would make the Iron Bowl a very, very interesting one because if that happens, they're likely playing for a spot in the SEC championship.
Shit. Oh shit! The Iron Bowl just got a lot more interesting right now, and
it always is, but it's always so much better when you have Auburn and Alabama doing well. You know, some of the last couple seasons we've had like a 4 or 5 loss Auburn team. It's not the same, and Bama's just goes in and dominates them. Although that a championship weekend, those games are always closer than they should be.
Always way closer.
Everybody, you always seems like the underdog in those ones is always pouring every ounce of their heart and soul into trying to upset and ruin the season for their rival.
Yeah, and I mean you can't blame them. I mean, if you can't win the season, you might as well ruin it for your rival. And that's what it comes down to, especially in college football. And you see a little bit of that in the NFL, but not nearly as much in college football. And yeah, I'm excited for that game. I really am. This Iron Bowl is going to be.
Well, I'm holding off on my excitement a bit until we see what happens with A&M and Auburn next weekend. Because if A&M knocks off Auburn, it's not all said and done. Because Auburn only has, despite being a 2-loss team, they only have 1 SEC loss. So if they lost A&M, that would be their second. So actually, they could still get in technically, but then you got A&M to worry about too. Don't sleep on A&M.
You really can't, because A&M, and they've been playing like a bat out of hell lately. Like I really can't get a pulse on them.
Yeah. Only unfortunate thing with A&M is they already have 2 SEC losses.
That is very unfortunate. You can't have that.
Yeah, so A&M's only real route to the SEC championship is they got to win out and then have Auburn beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl. So the Iron Bowl still would mean a lot if A&M is able to win out. That's one I've got circled on my calendar. I mean, championship weekend in general circled on my calendar.
Yeah, obviously.
I think probably the Iron Bowl, and then the other big one that's going to have a lot of implications will be Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, Ohio State, Michigan's going to be huge.
So long as Michigan's not too demoralized and falls off a cliff here. But
I mean, yeah, it should be a good game, hopefully, and we'll cover that obviously on Degenerate Bets later this week. But that's definitely a game we're looking out for. Noah, do you have any other takes on the college football before I rip apart a bunch of NFL quarterbacks and offensive schemes?
I mean, last thing I got to say is Arizona covered again.
Yes, they did.
we're becoming a decent ATS team.
Don't put that out in the universe, because I no joke.
We're not winning. We're
three
not
different
winning,
games I watched today, and the fucking announcers were like, has never missed a kick before, and all 3 of those motherfuckers missed a kick. So I don't even want to talk about that, Noah. Don't put that out in the universe. We are not against the spread team. We are a football team.
But that game, first half, looked like it was going to be a major disaster. Ended up coming back, and holy shit, I was sitting on the end of my seat in the fourth quarter. I was like, can we complete a comeback? And then in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, no, this is Arizona. We're not going to do it.
But hey, shout out to Arizona. We will be in attendance for the U of A Cal game this weekend coming up.
And I will say this team over the past couple of weeks with, ignoring the Colorado game, this team's had some fight most weeks. Like,
they have had fight.
We have been in the game with a chance to do something against, USC, Washington, Oregon. We were in that game for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
It does feel like this program, and we don't deserve to be favored in any games.
Not
but
even
it feels like this program is super hungry and ready for a win. We are just not good enough to be getting that yet. Obviously Cal, probably our last opportunity of the season to steal one. Who knows? Maybe we just fucking beat ASU last game of the season. That would be, then the whole season's a win. We can go, I don't even care if we go 1-11. If we beat ASU last game of the season, that's a win. The whole season's a W. Jed Fish will be around for like a decade.
Don't get me wrong. The season would be a W if we beat ASU coming up on November the 27th. However, no, I'm going to let you know right now, you're going to hate my shirt of the week. You're going to hate it because I hate it. I hate it, but I love it.
You did not pick a new shirt if you picked ASU. I mean, anybody could pick up that you just hinted at that. You better pick a fucking new shirt.
I picked a new shirt. Don't worry. I didn't pick ASU. I would never pick fucking ASU on a shirt.
I will never have that.
I would never. Noah, I don't give a shit. Like, don't get me wrong. You'll have to find a new co-host if you pick ASU on a shirt. I'm a responsible sports gambler, Noah. I would never risk money on ASU. I would never do that.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Washington State for just blowing the fuck out of ASU.
Shout out, bro. Holy shit. No, dude, they didn't only blow them out. Fucking embarrass them. They just straight up embarrass them. Which we
4 weeks left. 4 weeks left. We pretty much know what the Pac-12 championship game is going to be. Utah and Oregon.
Yeah. Easily.
With Oregon State picking up another loss against Cal. That was a bad one.
Bad loss.
Utah getting a win, and then Washington State knocking off ASU. It looks pretty certain that it's going to be Utah and Oregon in that Pac-12 championship game.
It really does. But Noah, can we go to the NFL real quick?
AJ, yes, we can.
Okay, I want to start off kind of like I started off this episode. I got to do it one more time. These fucking refs. Literally, like, don't get me wrong. I understand I'm a sports gambler. You know what I mean? And I understand that my views may take in slightly because I bet one way and then shit happens, refs call it the other way. No, like, as a football fan, as a fan of football, these calls are out of fucking control. I'm done with it, dude. I am done with these fucking refs. They are calling some personal foul, fucking late hit on quarterbacks that are not late hits on quarterbacks. They literally release the ball a quarter of a second before they get hit. And then these pass interferences, everything. And it was really bad in the Cowboys game tonight. There were just so many flags, left, right, center. I'm done with these flags. I'm done with these refs. Like, am I out of pocket of saying that I want replacement refs back so we don't have to deal with this bullshit?
No, I mean, the replacement refs are so much worse, though.
Were they? Were they worse, though? Like, my question now isn't
Yeah.
If the refs were worse, were they? No, because I think, honest to God, they hired a bunch of these fucking same refs that were the replacement refs, and they're in the goddamn games now. I mean, we have to have a fucking 5-man conference literally every other play in the Cowboys game. And then the Bears game, don't even get me started on the fouls in that game. It was bullshit on a lot of them. These refs literally.
AJ, the Bears just suck, man.
Don't get me wrong. The Bears suck. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying.
You should be happy. You should be happy with the loss. They're moving up in the draft order.
Yeah, and we're gonna fuck it up by drafting another quarterback. So let's not talk about the goddamn Bears right now. Let's talk about how these fucking refs are literally shitting away everyone's season.
Bears are gonna draft Bo Nix.
Shut up. No, don't put that in the fucking universe because they're probably going to. They're probably going to draft that motherfucker, and he can't even complete a pass for more than 10 yards.
Bears use their 5th round pick on Bo Nix, Auburn.
5th round at Bo Nix, and he can only play at home. So we'll have Justin Fields as our away quarterback, and then Bo Nix as our home quarterback. Dude, fuck me. That's something Matt Nagy would fucking do. Also, let's talk about Matt Nagy really quick and how smart he is. Matt Nagy is a fucking genius. He is going to not coach in the last 2 weeks, get fired on his bye week and be like, well, hey, I didn't coach the last 2 weeks. It's not my fault. Like, what the fuck, dude? Matt Nagy needs to be fired. Needs to be fired this bye week. They're on a bye week this week, right, Chicago?
Are they?
Week 10. This is week 10 coming up, right? They play Pittsburgh next week.
No, this is week 9.
Yeah, they play Pittsburgh next week and then have a bye week.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, nice little win they put together today.
Yeah, it really is a nice little win they put together against the Browns, going up 15-10. That was a fun game to watch. I mean,
I didn't watch much of it, but
did you not?
Man, they're just lucky they have that defense because their offense cannot score points very good.
Bro, I think
their defense is gonna keep them in. I mean, if their defense stays healthy and they got TJ Watt out there, I mean, their defense is gonna keep them in almost every game.
Yeah, but medium large Ben literally can't do shit.
Although I was pissed, I don't know if you saw, he ran in that 2-point conversion.
I did see that,
called, and then they got called the holding call on it. I was like, holy shit, this man is running. And I think it only worked because, I mean, there was the holding, but that didn't really have that much of an effect. It was because nobody on the Browns defense was expecting Big Ben to run a quarterback draw up the gut.
No one was expecting that. I was the last.
And he looked so slow on that, but he got in.
Hey, at least he got it in. That's all that really matters. Medium large Ben getting it done. Let's talk about another team that's not getting it done, though. Let's talk about the Colts at the Titans. I mean, the Titans at the Colts. Colts not being able to get it done in overtime. This was a much closer game than I thought it was going to be. I thought the Colts were going to blow them out. I'm not going to lie. Especially because the Titans offense is Derrick Henry and Derrick Henry and Derrick Henry.
Well,
but then they reminded us that they have some wide receivers that can make some catches. I mean,
specifically one AJ Brown.
Dude, that guy's a beast.
Bro, they didn't. Okay, they did not need Julio. That was a no. I mean, that was a waste of the 2nd round draft pick they gave up for him because he's done absolutely nothing for him all season. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll figure it out. But
he's drawn attention. That's why AJ Brown's had such a great years because he's drawn attention.
No, AJ Brown's having a great year because AJ Brown's a great receiver.
Well, yeah, but he wouldn't be a great receiver if he was the only receiver on that team. Julio Jones wasn't on that team. He'd be getting double, triple teamed.
Did Julio even play today?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, what do you mean? Did Julio play today? Of course, Julio played today. Did he not?
Sure?
Yeah.
Checking on that right now.
I am too because I'm 90% sure he played today. I don't know why he wouldn't have played today.
He did not. He didn't play.
Oh shit.
He was out today. So I rest my case.
Yeah,
I rest my case.
Yeah, no.
AJ Brown, I think, had like 10 catches on 11 targets or 11 catches on 12 targets, and touchdown, and over 100, like probably over one. Was he over 150?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10.
I believe he was.
10 catches on 11 targets for 155 and a touchdown. And that talked about it last week. That's the Derrick Henry effect. The Colts sold out, stacking the box against Derrick Henry. Did a really good job at shutting down Derrick Henry, but you leave AJ Brown in single coverage for most of the game.
You're fucked.
I mean, this is a top 10 receiver, only in his, I think, third year in the league, but he's top 10. I wouldn't quite put him in top 5, but the dude's a stud. He is great, and clearly, this Titans offense is multidimensional.
Yep. Yeah, and I hate to say it. They are, though.
The beauty of it is they're not when they don't need to be. If you can't stop Derrick Henry, they're not going to throw the ball. They're just going to cram it down your throat the entire game.
Oh, yeah. They have no problem
and make you look silly. But, I mean, they can also air it out.
Yeah, they can, and they showed that. They really did this game. It was the Titans game all day, especially into overtime when they really shined. I thought they performed excellent in overtime. Noah, can I bury a team really quick? Just absolutely bury a team.
Depends what team we're burying.
The fucking Bengals. Okay, let me get started on these motherfuckers really quick. So, okay, we have Jamar Chase and we got Joe Burrow, guys that have known each other since college. Oh, cool. We'll have an easy hookup with the worst defense in the NFL. And then, oh, don't worry.
Mike Smith, baby.
Mike fucking Smith. Dude, are you joking? How do the Bengals get routed by the fucking Jets 34-31? How? The Bengals are not bad.
Mike White, not Smith, sorry. But still,
doesn't matter. Same thing.
It's so generic, I forgot it. But they gave up 405 and 3 touchdowns to the quarterback with maybe the most generic name possible.
How do you give up that many points to the worst team in the NFL?
Because the Jets aren't the worst team in the NFL. The Jets aren't even bottom 5.
What the fuck are you talking about? Jets aren't bottom 5.
I'm talking they're not even bottom 5.
Okay, name the bottom 5.
The Lions, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the Eagles. I would say the Eagles, even though they routed the
Eagles.
Washington's looking pretty bad. The Giants, I would say, are worse than the Jets.
Giants.
And then I would say the Jets are on a similar playing field as like the Panthers and the Falcons.
All right, regardless, the fucking Bengals should not have lost this game. I don't even give a shit that they didn't cover the spread. The Bengals should not have lost this game. And here they are, losing this game by 3 fucking points. Bengals are dead, dude. How do you lose to the Jets? How?
Well, they almost lost the same way they almost lost to the Jaguars earlier this season. The Bengals are a hit or miss team.
Yeah, apparently
they've shown flashes of greatness, but some weeks clearly they just don't show up, and that's because they're super young. That happens. You get a super young team like that, and they're super inexperienced, and this shit can happen. Like, they blew out the Ravens, but then, and you wonder if some of that's the carryover too from that. Blowing out the Ravens, they're like, oh, okay, huge win over a really good division opponent. And then they come in unprepared, thinking the Jets are going to be easy win. And I tell you what, though, the Jets are hungry.
They are hungry.
And I love Robert Saleh, and I love
Saleh.
I love the culture and the vibe that he brings. I mean, he's a lot like Dan Campbell, but better.
Yeah, and then let's go ahead and talk about Dan Campbell really quick. And this,
which again, another team that might have dropped the ball because of the success, if you can call it that they had last week. The Lions taking the Rams down to the wire. Maybe they got a little too confident about playing the Eagles.
Way too fucking confident, dude. They got blown out 44-6. I mean,
and the Eagles reminded us, as bad as the Eagles are, they reminded us that this is still the Detroit Lions.
Oh, dude, they are the Lions through and fucking through. Like this team literally can't get a stop to save their life. They couldn't stop Santa Claus delivering a present to a Jewish kid if they tried. This team couldn't do anything.
And you got the Eagles who just ran all over them back with Boston Scott, and they dusted the cobwebs off of Jordan Howard. Holy shit.
Dude, Jordan Howard, that's a name I haven't heard in fucking years. And then all of a sudden he's putting up 100 yards against this team. Like,
I'm telling you, they dusted the cobwebs off of Jordan Howard. He had 2 touchdowns and like 70 yards or something like that.
Ridiculous, dude. It was ridiculous what he had, especially the kind of player that he is. With that being said, though, I don't expect anything less from the Lions, being how bad they are and letting the Eagles run all over them. I mean, fuck, I thought this was one they could squeak by everybody, but no, it wasn't.
And I do think the Eagles are better than I initially gave them credit for coming into the season. They have exceeded my expectations already. I think a lot of people are still sleeping on them. I don't want to say sleeping on them because they're still not good. They're still a bad team. Still bottom third of the league.
Bad football team.
But they're capable. They've shown they're capable of putting up a lot of points on offense. And I guess their defense decided to show up today.
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I still don't think the Lions are the worst team in the league.
No, you're right, because the Bears are.
Well, and we know, I'm going to say it, I've said it 100 times before, the Lions will find a way to steal a game against the Bears.
Noah, and you know what?
They play them twice.
And they're probably going to win both fucking games.
No, because they never win both. They always steal one. And I've got my eye on that. I've got my eye on that Thanksgiving. I think they play Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, fuck. If they play Thanksgiving Day, that's going to be the worst day of my life. Let me check that really quick. Thanksgiving football.
But there's still like if the Lions played the Jaguars or the Texans or possibly even the Dolphins, I would maybe take them, to win against them. Those three. I don't know. Speaking of fucking Texans and the Jaguars being in the same division, and Titans having 2 wins over the Colts now. I mean, that's the easiest cakewalk to the playoffs any team's got.
Easiest cakewalk in the division that you can even fucking talk about, dude. I mean, literally.
They got a 3-game. What do they have? 3-game lead now over the Colts. And
easy.
And they have Titans have. Do they have 2 games left against both of those teams?
Yeah.
Have they even played either of them?
Oh.
They have to have, right?
I'm checking right now.
They played the Jags, so the Titans have 2 games against the Texans and 1 more against the Jags left on the schedule.
That is bullshit. The Tennessee team is making the playoffs easy.
Not only making the playoffs, I mean, looking at their schedule. Well, okay, so they got the Rams next, and then the Saints. Those will be 2 tough ones. And they got the Patriots in a couple weeks. Steelers left on the docket, but this Titans team might be in the running for home field advantage in that 1 seed because they have tiebreaker. They have the tiebreaker over the Bills.
They do.
They have a relatively easy schedule compared to a lot of the other teams. They're a 2-loss team. There's no 1-loss teams in the AFC. NFC dominance, by the way. Can we talk about that? Holy shit. I mean,
holy fuck. Like
I just love seeing my my Green Bay Packers at number 1 now because of tiebreakers.
For those of you listening on Spotify, I'm flipping off Noah right now because that was a bullshit game that they won against the Arizona Cardinals. However, Noah, I want to talk about another. Can we talk about my Bears really quick?
Do we need to? Need to, AJ?
Yes, we do, right. Because somehow.
Well, welcome to AJ's venting / therapy session weekly.
I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. The 49ers are a piece of shit team. They're literally the worst team in the NFC West, and we can't even put up more than 22 points. We can't put up more than 22 points. And Matt Nagy, first of all, I want to shout out Matt Nagy really quick. I do. Because this motherfucker is going to find some way to get COVID up until the bye week so he can get fired and then be like, oh, well, I was on COVID. I got fired for having fucking COVID. Like, but no, the Bears are a shitty team. No one in this staff
or organization.
Thank you. No one in this organization can call a fucking play to save their life, dude. They are leaving Justin Fields out to dry as a quarterback, as a rookie quarterback too. They're ruining his career in his first year.
Well, they're doing the same thing the Dolphins are doing with Tua. Give him no help and just let him fail.
Okay, but the difference is Tua actually is a bad quarterback. He is not. No,
Fields isn't any different. Fields isn't any different.
Fields is a big difference from Tua. I completely disagree with that.
Tua is just a lefty Fields. Oh. Or Fields is a righty Tua. I don't know. Tua came first, so.
Wow. Not even a little bit, but fine. Either way, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace need to be fired by the bye week.
They won't.
I know they won't because we're going to keep them on for another fucking 5 years. But
no, they're not making it through the season. I don't think.
They are. Oh, they are.
My guess is, but I think they're going to wait until there's 3 to 4 weeks left in the season, maybe, and fire him, or maybe the end of the season. I don't know.
Bye week. That's their only time to fire him, or they keep him the rest of the season.
It's too early in the season to fire.
No, it is not. We are more than halfway through the fucking season.
No, we are Matt Nagy halfway.
Oh, well, with the other 17 game, I guess, yes. But regardless, Matt Nagy deserves to be fired literally from day one. From day fucking one, I was not happy with this hire, and they went ahead with this. And then they, fuck! How can anyone be a Bears fan, honest to God, knowing that this management is going on? Because I'm having a fucking hard time, bro. It's tough to be a Bears fan right now, knowing what management is going on.
I wouldn't know.
I know you wouldn't know because you're a fucking Packers fan, and your only worry is what team is Aaron Rodgers going to go to at the end of the season. But that's the end of the season. You don't need to worry about the fact that your team sucks right now.
And it's not even a foregone conclusion that he's leaving.
It's not even. And here we are.
Because I will tell you, winning is the cure-all. Winning solves everything.
Winning does. It does. And if he can win a fucking Super Bowl, he'll stay in Green Bay the rest of his life, and the Bears are fucked for the next 7 years. So we love to see that.
We just need to win out, have a 16-1 season, win the Super Bowl. Just do that. There's no way he's going anywhere else.
I feel bad, bro. I feel bad. I don't want anyone to lose their job, especially in today's day and age and everything. But all I want for Christmas, Christmas is a new head coach and for the fucking Bears.
Well, everybody in the coaching carousel of any professional sport, you get fired. They find another job somewhere else. It's not very hard.
What's also disgusting is that they can suck at one job and then go find another job and get paid a shit ton of money to suck at that too.
Well, I mean, it makes sense to some extent because people have all this experience, and you see a lot of guys who fail at head coaching, get hired on back as a coordinator and are doing a great job, because some guys are just very offense or defensive minded and just can't handle the head coaching responsibility and duties. Now, being a GM, that's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, that's a fucking different story, Ryan Pace. I just want to let you know that right now. And Matt Nagy, you too having a couple fucking seasons with a brand new quarterback, Matt Nagy, and you can't do shit. You're supposed to be an offensive guru, and you literally cannot put together an offensive first down. So,
well, I will say on the Bears, there is a Super Bowl MVP on the roster who is just being completely ignored and shit on.
Who cares?
Getting paid a lot of money to just ride the bench and not even take first or second team reps.
That's the Bears for you. What do you expect?
I'm just saying at this point, can't get any worse. Might as well throw Foles in and see what he can muster up.
Yeah, but the word, but in the Bears' mind, this is what's going on. Well, fucking A, we start Nick Foles. He's gonna win a game. We can't have that. We can't have him win a game. Then we have to fucking pay the guy. Like, if there's one thing the Bears hate doing more than having a competent quarterback, it's paying a competent quarterback.
No. They love paying quarterbacks.
They love paying.
What they gave Mike Glennon.
I said competent quarterbacks.
I just remember when they gave Mike Glennon like a 3-year, $40-some million deal.
Yeah,
and they signed
Trubisky
to a really big one. Paid Jay Cutler a lot of money.
Actually happened.
They paid a pretty penny to get Nick Foles just to not even play him.
And you wonder why
$10 million on Dalton for one.
You wonder why I hate being a Bears fan. We spend all this money on quarterbacks that literally can't throw a fucking pass. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, I am a fantasy GM owner, and I am a terrible fantasy owner, but I promise you I could win more games than this piece of shit, Matt, whatever the fuck his name is, Ryan Pace.
All right.
Yeah, fucking A. Anyway, we'll get off my Bears for a goddamn minute. No, what else caught your eye this week? Because besides the awful officiating in the Buccaneers Saints game.
Well, Rams looked really good until they just, not that it mattered. They were up 38-0, and then for some reason got outscored 22-0 by the Texans in the fourth quarter.
Garbage time, bro.
I think the Rams just turned it off. They're like 38-0 going into the fourth, game's over. And then Houston decided to try to mount a comeback. Don't know where that came from, but whatever. How about the Patriots?
Oh,
winning in LA. Oh, huge win for them.
Huge win.
If they lost this game, I don't want to say their playoff hopes would be dead, but it would be tough sledding.
It'd be gone.
They are very much alive in the playoff race now with this win over the Chargers.
And not only with the win over the Chargers, how they looked over the Chargers. Like, they looked like a football team that was ready to compete this entire game.
Yeah, and I think Belichick is doing exactly what he needs to with Mac Jones. He is not asking him to do too much. They're running a dink and dunk offense.
Yep.
Not a lot of throws downfield.
Yep.
A lot of short routes and checkdowns, which is fine. I'm never going to shit on that because that's what Belichick's system has been for forever. And it works. It works. Except for when he had Randy Moss. That was a little bit different.
A little bit different.
That obviously changes things when you have a receiver like Randy Moss that you just expect to just beat every single DB deep every time. But, barring those couple of years with Randy Moss, this is the Belichick system, and I think it's back. And they have a strong defense. Not as strong necessarily as I expected it to be, but they're running their boring think and dunk offense, and it's working.
It is, and I hate to say
they're putting up points.
They are. They're putting up points. They're doing what they need to do to win football games. And like we've talked about multiple times, all that matters at the end of the day is how many points you put on the board.
And whether or not whether or not that's a bigger or a smaller number than the team you're playing.
Exactly. And that's all that fucking matters. And the Patriots put up a bigger number. Unfortunately for me, and again, this leads into my terrible football weekend. No, you got anything else on the big NFL slate? I really didn't find any of these games attractive or anything like that, except for the Cowboys game, which was.
Are we not going to talk about? Are we not going to talk about the Saints knocking off the Bucks with Trevor Siemian at quarterback?
Dude, if I am the Buccaneers right now, I am shitting my pants because my secondary can't stop a third string quarterback.
Well, to be fair, this was a very close game, despite the Bucks turning the ball over. Tom Brady turning the ball over 4 times. Three. I think it was 3. 2 picks and a loss. 2 picks and a lost fumble, including a pick 6 that allowed New Orleans to effectively seal the game. And I don't know what it is. Something about Sean Payton or the Saints defense seems like they have Brady's number. He has struggled playing the Saints routinely. Always. And last year in that playoff game, I still adamantly hold by the fact that if the Saints had swallowed their pride and put Jameson instead of Drew Brees, the Saints would have won that playoff game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a close game, but the Saints couldn't do anything on offense because, if you're the Bucks, you don't have to play anything farther than 10 yards down the field because Drew Brees couldn't throw the ball.
Exactly.
But man, the Saints defense, for some reason, they just every time they play, they cause Tom Brady a lot of issues. Nothing changed today. I mean, the Bucks were moving the ball downfield, right? But those 3 turnovers, they had a lot of sacks too.
A lot of sacks.
So, Brady was definitely feeling the pressure today. And yeah, shout out to the Saints. Saints are looking like a good team. I don't know how the fuck they lost to Carolina, and the Giants. They're 2 losses to Carolina and the Giants.
Yeah, how?
Yet they've got wins over the Bucks and the Packers.
That's the NFL for you, I guess. So Noah, any other?
I hope Jameis is. I hope Jameis is okay. That knee injury looked kind of iffy. Did they say?
It's not officially reported, but from the sideline interviews and everything, it does seem to be an ACL injury.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video of him dancing in the locker room on the crutches?
I did see that, and that made me even more worried. I think he's out for the season.
He was moving pretty good. I mean, he was on crutches.
On one leg, I think that other ACL is fucked, though.
Well, anyway, shout out Jameis, huge locker room guy. He's like he's one of the top guys in the NFL, if not the top guy that I would want to be teammates with, because yeah.
Oh, absolutely. He seems like just a dope dude to be around. But Noah, besides the shitty officiating, any other takes on the NFL college football weekend we had ahead of us? What we had this weekend?
Not necessarily. I'm just I'm super excited to see how some of these conference races in college football play out, and how the some of these division races in the NFL end up playing out. Obviously, you got a couple that not even the halfway point look over. Titans look like there's no way they're going to lose the division. Packers obviously look like they've got it locked up. NFC West, as strong as that division looked coming into the year. Seattle, San Francisco not looking that great. Looks like a 2-horse race there.
Between the Rams and the Cardinals, absolutely.
And the Saints with this win today, very much in it with the Bucks.
They are, unfortunately. Yeah, it's crazy to talk about it, but they are very much into it still.
So we will see.
We will see, and don't get us wrong, D-Gens. This season might be going long, but we're here for all of it. And not only are we here for all of it, this upcoming weekend, for homecoming weekend, for the University of Arizona. Noah and I will be live, and we will be recording a podcast in person for a bunch of different shit. Not
maybe even two
now.
Maybe
even two, but we're not going to announce that yet. Follow us on Twitter at Degenerate Takes to know when we're going live. Also follow us at Degenerate Takes 69 on TikTok to get our daily picks and locks. And am I missing anything, Noah? Or are we just going to have a fucking week?
Well, I think we're going to have a fucking week, AJ, and I will be seeing you in a couple days.
Noah, I'll see you in a couple weeks. The Degens will see us in a couple days.
Buddy.
Couple days. The Degens will see us in a couple days too, because we'll be back with more Degenerate Takes.